Fond du Lac County here in southern Wisconsin, and actually that's not even the cell that I was looking at. Let's go to radar and take a look at what the concern is, and actually yeah, I would definitely agree with this tornado warning. So here we are for southern Fond du Lac County. We are looking at the National Weather Service office that is in Milwaukee, looking at their radar. We'll switch over to Green Bay in just a little bit, but here it is on the reflectivity, but really the velocity tells the story. Let's go over to the velocity, and you can see that we got a little bit of a couplet there. Not actually a bad couplet, and definitely worth a tornado warning. We'll put this in motion, and you can see that in the last couple of frames it really has grown to be quite the intense little couplet there. Let's take a look. I'm literally just reading the warning as we went live on air because I was not expecting, and actually let's just look at the reflectivity again because we even got a little bit of a hook. Oh yeah, definitely quite the storm system. So here is the information. Tornado warning for southern Fond du Lac County in east central Wisconsin. Capable of producing a tornado. The storm location. Let's see what is in Waupun is really the only city, and that will actually go to the north of it. But Oakfield to the east would also be in the path of this storm system, but really Waupun to the north of Waupun kind of is over a desolate area of Wisconsin, but still very, very important that if you are in this area to seek shelter immediately. And let's just go back over to velocity and show you where our biggest concern is right now. It's just northwest of the city of Waupun. I got the areas highlighted right here. If you are in that area, seek shelter immediately. You want to get as many as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And obviously, the best place to go is in the basement. If you're in a mobile home, seek your storm shelter immediately. It is important that you get to the lowest point if possible. Get as many walls as possible between you and the storm system. Anyway, just trying to see if we have had reports of funnel clouds with another cell, and I will highlight that area over here. Hang on just a second. Sorry, just trying to get through all the information. Just rushed on the air, but obviously this is quite the couplet. So if you are in this area, you need to be seeking shelter immediately. Just north of Waupun, south of Brandon. Brandon's been a real hot spot. So between Waupun and Brandon, if you live in that area, you need to be seeking shelter immediately. And that's been quite the hot spot for tornadoes this season here in Wisconsin. Let's see. So I just want to point out this is well, that's how much rain we've seen here, but that might be a little bit of an overestimate. And I just want to reiterate, we are looking at the radar site in Milwaukee. Right now that has the best couplet. I did look at the radar in Green Bay, and actually I can show you that real quick. Does not look as impressive on Green Bay. It's the one in Milwaukee that really is showing the couplet, and probably has the better angle on the storm system anyway. And just want to double check and see if there are any updates, any reports of tornadic activity. We have seen reports of funnel clouds with another cell that is to the south and east. And I'm just sorry, you guys, trying to go over for the information, but that is not the cell that produced the tornado warning. It's the one to the north, and it certainly has a decent couplet on it. We'll go back to the velocity. If you are north of Waupun, oh yeah, that's definitely. I want to double check some other indicators. Whoop! Don't break your iPad while you're on air. That would not be good. Just checking some other products right now, seeing if there's anything worth pointing out. As a one-man crew, this always gets a little interesting. We'll look at the correlation coefficient, which is a dual pole radar product. Not showing much of anything. If anything, this isn't very exciting radar paint. Nothing indicating me right here that of any concern, because where we would be concerned if there was a tornado would be right in here. It's probably the place where we would be watching out for any indication of a tornado, and I'm not seeing anything right now that would be indicating a possible tornado. I'm sorry, that's a bad oval. Let me repaint that. So, and here's where we would be looking for a tornado debris signature, and we're not seeing anything right now. So that is good for the time being. Let's go back to the velocity real quick and see if we get a radar repaint here. Yep, and we just did. That's still looking pretty good. That's a pretty good couplet. I haven't seen any reports of any tornadoes yet. Trying to look to see if there are any reports. Nope. I don't know anyone that's on that cell currently. So we'll be watching out to see if anything happens. Sorry, I'm just... No reports currently, and like I said, if I center that image a little bit, this is the main concern right now. If you're between Brandon and Waupun and points to the east, so Oakfield, you will eventually be in the path of the storm system. Be seeking shelter immediately. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is heading your direction. Once again, with that warning, nothing confirmed at the moment. It's radar indicated, but that is quite the rotation couplet right there. Winds right now, I'm going to draw little arrows. This is what we're concerned about. We're seeing a little bit of rotation on the severe thunderstorm, or on this thunderstorm. Other than producing the tornado, not seeing much in the way of any other severe thunder or severe weather. It's really just the sort of tornado that we would be concerned about right now. We haven't really been expecting much in the way of severe weather today. This was more or less the garden variety thunderstorms. But yes, certainly keeping an eye out on the storm system. This looks like quite the cell. If you live in the village and town of Waupun, be seeking shelter immediately. The storm system is heading your direction. Remember, safest place is in your basement, but if you do not have a basement, try to get as many walls between you and the outside as possible. If you live in a mobile home, seek shelter in your storm shelter, which hopefully you have figured out before the storm system is heading your direction. Do not try to outrun a tornado. That is always dangerous. Being in your vehicle is the worst place to be in a tornado. Being under a bridge is the worst place to be in a tornado. You want to get as slow or as low as possible. Anyway, sorry guys, I am trying to see if there are any more reports coming in. Do not see any reports coming in at the moment. Yep, not seeing anything. Tornado warning will continue until 6 o'clock for Found Du Lac County. If you are in, it looks like the warning just got updated, so let me just take a look and see if there's any updated information. So until 6 p.m., obviously if you're in Waupun, and I would say even in Oakfield, be seeking shelter immediately. A tornado warning is in effect for your area, and this is also looking like quite the little decent cell, so I would definitely be taking this warning seriously. It has a nice little couplet to it. Definitely worth your attention. Anytime the National Weather Service issues a tornado warning is worth your attention, but this one especially is showing clear indication of rotation. So be seeking shelter immediately. I'm not seeing any reports or any pictures from the storm system at the moment. We had some people on the cells that was to the south of that area but nothing right now on the storm system. We just get that radar refresh. You can see that that couplet's still going strong. Taking a look at any of the other products in the area. Not seeing any indication of a tornado on the correlation coefficient product. Won't even be worth showing you at the moment. So that's good news. Not seeing anything there as far as a tornado warning. Sorry, you guys, you're going to hear me typing again. I just want to make sure. Post. Sorry, guys. One-man operation. Alright. That storm system, the bulk of the rotation right now is just north of the town of Waupun. So if you are in Waupun, seek shelter immediately. The storm system that is affecting your area that has the potential for a severe thunderstorm or capable of producing a tornado warning is in your area. I want to go back to the reflectivity real quick. It's going to take me just a moment here as I reset my radar program. Just getting a new paint, and it does look like the worst of the storm system is going to be just north of Waupun. The area of most concern that I'd be concerned about is in here, and this is moving pretty much due east, a little bit of a northern, so a little bit of a northeast component to it, but mainly east. You can kind of see my radar program trying to take it to the south, but that's not the case. I would say this is mainly moving east, maybe a little bit northeast, and I'll put this in motion just to show you. The problem is that the rotation with it is kind of going north-south, but the storm's overall direction is moving west to east. So that's definitely worth taking a look at. And I just realized my ticker is not refreshing properly. Sorry about that, you guys. Alright, that should be the most up-to-date information there. Let's just go over the warning text again. I haven't seen an update by the National Weather Service yet, but I just want to go ahead and repeat since this is a very dangerous storm system. And I will put the reflectivity just so you can see what the worst of the storm system would be in that area right there. That's what we're keeping our eyes out on. And of course now I can't get the text to show up. Let's see. Last warning update was at 5:36. National Weather Service continues to indicate a storm capable of producing a tornado near Waupun, moving east at 15 miles per hour. So this is definitely a slow-moving storm system. The whole line of showers and thunderstorms have been moving pretty slowly throughout the state as they continue to trek east, with a little bit of a north component to it too. But this cell system, for the most part, is moving due east. Waupun is obviously under the gun right now, so if you are at Waupun, in the city of Waupun, seek shelter immediately. I'm gonna put this back in motion and keep out the reflectivity here. A lot of times we look for what is known as a hook, and you can kind of tell that it had a little bit of a hook right here, and now it kind of looks like it's maybe trying to cycle a little bit. But yeah, that is definitely still a very interesting cell. We'll go back to velocity, take a look at that real quick. What's got me a little bit concerned, the velocity couplet is not as strong as it was. We'll put that in motion, and you can see that when it was north and west of the city, the couplet was very strong, which prompted the tornado warning. But since then, it does look like it's weakening a little bit. But the actual rotation seems to be going a little bit north to south and moving into the city of Waupun instead of just skirting it to the north. So if you are in the town of Waupun, seek shelter immediately. Remember, try to get as many walls between you and the storm system. Best place is in your basement, but if you don't have a basement, interior room is the best place to go. So usually that is the bathroom, but not always the case. Once again, trying to see if there are any reports of tornadoes. I'm not seeing any reports, not even hearing anything about funnel clouds like we saw with the storm system to the south. We'll go back to the reflectivity and I'll show you which storm system I'm talking about. The cells that were further to the south near West Bend, those were showing signs of possibly producing, there was reports and images of a funnel cloud associated with those cells, but nothing, not seeing reports of tornadoes or funnel clouds with the tornado warning storm system. And that was about an hour and 20 minutes ago with those funnel cloud reports, so that was quite a bit ago. Anyway, again, just a new radar refresh. So if you're in Waupun right now, seek shelter. The storm system is heading towards your area. And take this report seriously. Still definitely has a velocity couplet to it. This is the area of most concern. Now moving into the town of Waupun. So if you are living in the town of Waupun, seek shelter immediately. Storm system is heading towards your area. Oakfield, you would be next on the list, but it does look like we're going to be moving to a more sparse area once we get past Waupun. The storm system, the rotation, that does seem to be like indicating that it's been moving north to south along with the storm system, which is moving west to east, which could be a clear indication of rotation, especially when just got a new paint refresh, and that velocity couplet is not as strong, but it's still there. If you are in the town of Waupun, seek shelter immediately. A tornado warning has been issued for your area, and we're still seeing very weak rotation indicated by the radar. So this would be the area of concern. Looks like an update's coming through right now. I'm trying to see if I can't pull up that information. Storm could be cycling right now, which storm systems kind of have this natural lifestyle or life, trying to read the information while talking. Not always the best at that. At 5:44, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Waupun, moving east at 15 miles per hour. Very slow moving storm, so luckily it's still radar indicated. Nothing beyond that. Waupun, you are definitely under the gun though for this storm system. If you are in the township of Waupun, be seeking shelter immediately. The storm system is right over you at this time. The only saving grace here is that we haven't had any confirmation of any tornadoes. Haven't seen any reports of any tornadoes or even funnel clouds like we did earlier with some other cells that were to the south. Though this is our main area of focus, I do want to point out we have other storms moving through eastern Wisconsin at the moment, including a cell system that did produce a funnel cloud. We had pictures of that kind of going through Washington County right now, approaching Germantown. So if you're living in that area, okay, sorry, just trying to see any reports. We're also keeping an eye on this cell. This cell has some interesting shape. This is currently in Walworth County, if I'm not mistaken, moving into Racine County. Seek shelter immediately if you're in those area. There's no tornado warnings or severe thunderstorms warnings associated with these cells, but they definitely look like they are capable of at least some lightning, and you do not want to be caught outside in a lightning storm. I'm just going to show the velocity. Isn't as clear on the storm system of any rotation, But still, I would be, if you're in Rochester, Waterford, Brown Lake, Burlington, and Racine County, I would be at least seeking shelter because there's definitely a storm system moving through your area. Uh, do, 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 do. Just checking in on reports, not seeing any, which is good. And once again, this is not the tornadic thunderstorm. The tornadic thunderstorm is up to the north over Waupun. And honestly, the rotation is very weak at this point. Luckily, that storm system was definitely right over the town of Waupun, and luckily we have not seen any indication of a tornado. Though if I put this in motion, you will see that the couplet was fairly strong, especially as it was approaching Waupun, but it's since weakened. I wouldn't be surprised if they let this. Yep. And the National Weather Service cancels the tornado warning for Found Du Lac County. Just coming over the news wire right now. These storm systems have natural life cycles and became very downdraft dominant. And as it did so, usually you get some outflow, which I do not see on this storm system. But we were looking at the cell earlier to the south when it produced its funnel cloud, had indications of producing a tornado for a little bit, but then it became downdraft dominant, meaning the cell was pretty much collapsing in on itself, and the outflow when that occurs usually pushes more stable air out in front of it, which then kills off the fuel that it needs to produce tornadoes. Like I said, if you are in south eastern Wisconsin today, be on the lookout for any severe weather that might occur. We have a line of severe thunder, or not severe, but strong thunderstorms moving throughout southern Wisconsin at this time, southeastern Wisconsin. And certainly, we've had reports of funnel clouds throughout the afternoon. We haven't had any reports of tornadoes. No tornado warnings are in effect. They just canceled the one in Found Du Lac County, so we're still waiting on my map to update here associated with that. Trying to see if the map will update. But it has come across the news wire that the tornado warning for Found Du Lac County has been canceled. And if we just go over that area, you see that storm system had a nice little hook for it for a little bit. So it was definitely looking like a dangerous little storm for a little bit there. If we go back to the actual velocity, you'll see that the couplet has since disappeared. We'll put this in motion. But as it was approaching the town of Waupun, it was looking quite dangerous for a little bit there. But that danger has since dissipated, and the tornado warning for Found Du Lac County has since been canceled. We're keeping an eye out on the rest of the storms. We'll put this back on reflectivity. We can see a stronger line of storms moving through Oshkosh. Let's go and just look at the radar over in Green Bay. So Oshkosh, Amro, Winnicott, Hortonville, New London, Ripon. You have a thunderstorm moving through your area. More or less garden variety. But like I said, we have seen reports of funnel clouds reported earlier today, and we had a tornado warning that has since been canceled. I'm getting our first pictures of the storm system over Waupun, and there's some rotation to it, but no lowering. But yeah, still, definitely have to be aware. Keep your eye on the sky if you are over eastern Wisconsin today. But not expecting general severe weather threat. Anyway, thanks for watching. This does conclude our coverage since the tornado warning has been canceled. If my maps would ever update. Yeah, you can see there. Tornado warning has been allowed to expire. The map just updated. And there's the crawler with the latest information. Anyway, my name's Matthew. I'll be keeping a watch for the rest of the thunderstorms as they continue their trek. I expect that most of these thunderstorms will die out once they cross the Lake Michigan boundary, so that will be good. Anyway, if we have any more severe weather, I'll come back. Other than that, have a good